Okay guys, PD Tech here with my Olympus SP810UZ. That was my £5 thrift shop find, which I thought was a bargain. So it's a 14 megapixel, it's almost like a bridge camera. It's more of a point and shoot bridge camera type of deal, with this extended sort of battery grip sticking out from the body, and then this huge 36 times optical zoom lens, wide angle HD with a 3D function on it as well. So when I was rooting through the box, this thing fell into my hand basically, and I thought, oh, this looks interesting. And I thought it was a film camera. It wasn't in a case or anything. And I just saw the back and I saw the screen, and you know, when you see an old digital camera in a box full of like junky cameras, your sort of heart drops, especially when you're looking for compact film cameras. And I just thought it was another bit of junk really. But then when I saw the 14 megapixel and I saw the Olympus on it, I thought, oh right, that's what made me think I got something a little bit special. And then when I took the lens cap off and I saw this huge objective lens, really bright clear glass, and this 36 times optical zoom, I thought yes, I'm onto a winner here. This looks really interesting. And it's not a model I'm particularly familiar with. The only downside for me really, there's no viewfinder. I like a camera that's got a viewfinder and a screen. So it's one of these deals where you just get the 3-inch LCD screen on the back. And every time I go to use this camera, I still put it to my eye as though it's got a viewfinder, because all my cameras basically have viewfinders. So it's got this pop-up flash deal going on, and it's got this nice sort of metal aluminium trim around the front of the lens there. It just feels really quite good quality really as well. It's got this chrome edging all the way around the camera. To me, it looks like one of those sort of cameras that was just this part, the chrome trim part with a screen on the back, and then they just lumped a great big lens on it, put a pop-up flash on it, and then this extended battery grip type affair. It just looks like it's all been added on a sort of fairly basic camera. That's what it looks like to me. The controls on the back, really simple. You've got this dedicated video record button. Unfortunately, it only records in 720p, which was a bit of a what can I say? I prefer my cameras to have at least 1080p really. So I was a bit disappointed about that, and it only records in mono as well, which is another deal breaker really. But you can, what I do with that, I just take the mono channel and I just duplicate it and make it a stereo channel, so you get 2 mono channels. Basically gives you a fairly good stereo effect. And to be fair, the footage is quite good for 720p. It's nothing to write home about, but this was in its day. That's what these sort of cameras had. You know, they weren't up to 1080p at that point. So it's got the branding on the back there. It's a really good clear display. Like I say, everything is very simple on the back. You've got this menu button, you've got an OK thing. You've basically got your preview, like your photos, and you want to go into your gallery, you just hold and press that one and it comes on. Dedicated video button there, on and off. You've got this wheel that clicks around, you've got the OK button, and you just got 2 buttons there. That's it. That's the only controls you've got, apart from the on-off button on top. It's got a really quick startup as well, so from the minute you press that, your camera's ready to go absolutely straight away. So that's a really fast startup, that. That's your lens coming out basically there, look. The only other controls, there's nothing here except your shutter and your zoom function. So that's it, fully extended. And that's it back in. So it's a half press, and it'll focus and everything. So one thing I have noticed with this really deep sort of area there where the battery grip is, so your fingers tend to go in here when you're holding it, and there's a little lamp there, a little red focus assist lamp, and if you're not too careful you can obscure that lamp from working in low light when it's trying to focus in low light. So you just have to be aware of that when you're holding this area, that your fingers don't obscure that lamp. It's fairly at the top, but there's not a lot of room in there when you're holding it. It's quite a narrow area, so you just got to watch that when you're holding the camera. So I'll put a few samples at the end, some video that I've taken on it and some photos. Menu system's quite cool. Let's have a quick look in the menu system. So it's just basically up and down, and as each thing is selected you can go left and right. Look, so you've got the P program mode, you've got intelligent auto, you've got scene modes. So to select that you'd click on there, and then it brings up this sub menu. You've got all your different scenes. Look, night and goodness knows what, portrait mode, beauty, landscape, night portrait, sport, indoor, candlelight, self-portrait, sunset, fireworks. You've got loads of options. Cuisine, food photography, documents, endless, beach. I'll just go through them all. Pet mode, oh my goodness. Oh, there's pet mode. Portrait again. It just goes on and on. So you flash. Oh, that's the timer function there. Look, you got a 2-second timer, or a 12-second timer, or off. So the flash is off because I've got this. I think it's because it's flipped. Is that right? Yeah. Your flash comes into play when you lift the flash up. You've got this magic, takes pictures with various effects. Oh yeah, the magic effect. Let's have a look at these. You've got this punky one, which gives you like a purple filter. You got sparkle, watercolour, reflection. You got all different. You got quite a few effects in there. Pop art, pinhole. It gives you a little thumbnail of what the effect is going to look like. Drawing, soft focus. So you got loads there to play around with. Actually, I better change that. You got this panorama mode as well, which like an automated panorama. I think you take in that mode, you take one photo and then it'll prompt you to take several more photos in whichever direction. And you got this 3D mode as well. It says you need a 3D television. That's just your normal program mode. What I call just your regular. And then in your flash menu, let's have a look at the flash. You got auto, red eye reduction. And that's just your flash on, isn't it? So when you bring the flash down, that option goes off. That one's your macro photography. So you've got a regular macro, and then you've got the really close-up super macro, I think that stands for. So that can focus up to, I think it's within 5 centimetres of your subject. And I did try that one with going really close up to the flowers. That worked quite well. So that's your timer on off. There's your exposure compensation. You can just dial it up or dial it down. I think you can use the wheel or the left and right, etc. You've got your white balance, auto, white balance, cloudy, sunny, fluorescent lighting, etc, etc. You've got your ISO, auto, or you can select whichever ISO, you know. And then you've got your so you like burst photo, you can take several photos at once, or just a single frame. And then you've got your menu where all your other options are for like your image size, fine, compression, etc, etc, autofocus mode, digital zoom off, etc, etc. That's that AF illuminate, that's a little red light on the front. Image stabilizer, I've got that on. Record view on. Pick orientation. So there's quite a lot of features in there. Image quality, image size, yeah, I don't think you can change that. Oh, you can go down, look, but you can't go up. That's the highest it'll do. Slideshow, all sorts of things in there. Format, backup. Sound settings. So to come out of there. I think you press the menu again at the bottom, I think. Yeah, that brings you out there. So you've got grid lines on there, you've got your... It's not focusing, it's too close. Still too close. It probably won't focus because it's too dark in that corner. Yeah, it's struggling to focus. It'll go green anyway when you get a good focus. There you go. It's just a bit too dark, a bit too... Oh, it's too close as well, I think. So you've got your histogram there, you've got your grid lines, and you've got all the information there, all your settings down there that you've set. You can quickly see what you've got. You've got your record time left, and how many photos you got left at 14 megapixels, fine, etc. Tells you your spot metering on. Got a little hand icon to show you got your stabilization on. You've basically got everything you need in there. So it's when it's like that, it's saying it's not focused. And if you do take the shot, it's probably going to be a very long shutter as well. So it's telling you to hold the camera steady. So overall, I'm really pleased with that for what I paid, £5. It's looking on eBay, these are sort of going for anything up to £150. Well over £100 anyway. So now I've got the charging system for it and 2 extended batteries. I've put that on for... I've put it in to include all that as well. So I'll play around with it a little bit, like I say, but it's at the moment it's up for sale. Let's have a look at this little door. So it says HDMI back there, but you've got your sort of proprietary USB socket and your mini HDMI there. So underneath you've got your tripod mount and you've got your battery compartment. Just slide it that way and it pops up. And you just move that out of the way, your battery pops up. And your memory cards there, your SD memory cards there. Press it in and it pops up. So your battery pops up like that. So that's your battery. It's a Li50B, 880 milliamp hour, 3.7 volt. So this was completely drained, and it took a charge. I put it in that charger, and it's charged up okay, and it seems to be holding its charge well. So that's good. So to pop the battery back in, you just pop that down until that flicks over, and you're done. But I think it's an ideal, anyone looking for a travel camera, don't want to carry around a lot of bulk. It's quite a reasonable weight. It's not too heavy. It's got this nice zoom capability on it. It's got this Olympus ED lens as well, which stands for extra low dispersion. It stands for, which means it's got this coating on it, a special coating that Olympus used to stop chromatic aberrations and like that fuzziness you get around certain things at when you're zoomed in at certain levels. So it says 36 times wide optical zoom ED. It's a 4.3 to 154.8 millimeters. It's a 2.9 to 5.7. So it's a nice lens that I think at the time this was the biggest zoom you could get on this sort of type of point and shoot.